Hey Focus fam, Veronica here. Let's talk about the new Sony Xperia 1 Mark II. It's only been a year since Sony released the original Xperia 1, but they have made a whole bunch of improvements. Sony has really stepped up its smartphone game with the Xperia 1 Mark II. This latest addition to the Xperia line is a photographer's dream. Plus, if you're a gamer, avid movie watcher, or love listening to music, the Xperia 1 Mark II is a great option for you. So let's get into it. Some of the highlights of the Xperia 1 Mark II include 4K HDR display with 3840 by 1644 resolution, triple lens camera setup with focal lengths of 16, 24, and 70mm in addition to the 8 megapixel selfie camera. This is the first smartphone with 20 frames per second AF tracking burst, 60 frames per second real-time eye autofocus, Snapdragon 865 processor, DSEE Ultimate and 360 reality audio technologies, IP65-68 water resistant, 256 gigs of storage, and 8 gigs of RAM, Android 9 Pie OS. That's the basic rundown, but let's get into more detail of some of these features. First, let's talk about the camera. Simply speaking, it's pretty cool. Sony used a lot of the A9 technology in this phone. Think of it as a baby A9 inside your smartphone. Like the original Xperia 1 released back in 2019, the Mark II has a triple 12 megapixel rear camera setup. The Mark II gets a path-breaking camera system to make it a photographer or videographer's delight. While the 16 and 24mm lenses will serve you well for wide landscapes, the 70mm takes the game up a notch to give you amazing portraits. The Mark II also improves on the Xperia 1's image quality thanks to a 50% larger sensor and the new high-quality anti-reflective size T-coating on the lenses. And it's the first smartphone on the market to offer an incredible 20 frames per second continuous burst shooting with autofocus and auto exposure. Plus, the Mark II offers real-time eye autofocus for both humans and animals. Also, thanks to the PhotoPro and Cinema Pro apps, you can have control over your images and videos at a level previously only possible with a professional camera. You can control your ISO, shutter speed, aperture, and much more. But if you're looking for a simpler interface, you can switch to the separate basic camera app. For the movie lovers and gamers out there, there's also a lot to admire. First off, Sony is still the only manufacturer to produce a cinematic 21:9 4K HDR OLED display. This is a 6.5-inch edge-to-edge screen with no notches in the way of the action. And it's supported by 2 front speakers with Dolby Atmos sound and immersive 360 reality audio. The Mark II also introduces motion blur reduction technology that gets rid of lagging, as well as touch sensitivity for more responsiveness. Just as Sony took advantage of its alpha photography experts in designing the camera, Sony leaned on its Bravia technology team in creating the video and gaming aspects of the phone, and it really shows. This phone also takes advantage of another one of Sony's most famous products. For those who love their PlayStation, the Mark II can directly connect to the DualShock 4 controller. Gamers can also look forward to the Game Enhancer feature. This allows you to keep all your games in one place and even block out those annoying notifications during a heated gaming session. You can also use it for finding online gaming tips and recording your gameplay. The Mark II outdoes the original Xperia 1 across a number of features. Some improvements include an updated Snapdragon processor, more storage space and memory, an upgraded battery, and finally, wireless charging. For those who value function over form, will appreciate the reintroduction of a standard headphone jack, as well as a SIM tray that's easy to open with your fingernail. It also has a side-mounted fingerprint sensor that may take some getting used to. One feature unique to Xperia that the Mark II retains is SideSense, a sensor at the side of the screen that when you double tap it pulls up a quick menu of your favorite apps that makes it easier to access with one hand. Users shopping for size should know that it's bigger than the Samsung Galaxy S20 and about the same size as the iPhone 11 Pro Max, just a little longer and thinner, which makes it somewhat easier to handle. The Mark II's price tag of $1198 makes it a bit pricey, but the benefits you get for your money are pretty hard to argue with. That's all for now. Don't forget to subscribe to the Focus Camera YouTube channel for reviews and tutorials on the latest gear. See you next time.